guys, today I'm here doing a video talking about hair care. I have had a lot of requests with people asking me to do a hair tutorial. Unfortunately, that's not what I'm going to be doing today because quite honestly, I do nothing with my hair. I flat iron it or I wear it naturally, which is curly. What I'm going to do today instead is talk about hair products and hairstyling tools that I actually use. Some of the products are high-end, and then I decided to take it a bit further, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the high-end products which I recommend, but I'm also going to show you very reasonable alternatives to some of these high-end products that I find. For me, I've used both higher end and lower end, and these are just some of the ones that I absolutely love. So firstly, what I'm going to talk about is shampoos. Now the shampoo that I'm using today, I'm actually tossing up between two because I never use the same shampoo. I've started using the Rusk Sensories, and this is the smoother line. And I also use the BioSilk shampoo and conditioner. But to be honest with you, I have used this L'Oreal Ever Strong before, this green tube one, and it works just as great. It is a little bit costly even for like a drugstore brand, but it works so great because it's sulfate free. It doesn't damage the hair as badly as other shampoos tend to do. There are no dyes and no unnecessarily harsh chemicals in here. So this is a great alternative to one of the higher end products. This is what I recommend. And then, now I know everybody is on the Moroccan oil bandwagon, and if you are, don't be mad at me for saying this. I do have the Moroccan oil, but to be honest with you, I mean, what I use, and this is the cheaper alternative to the Moroccan oil, this is the one and only argan oil. And to be quite honest with you, I have the both of them, and I've used the both of them, and for me, I actually prefer the cheaper product. I think that the Moroccan oil makes my hair a bit too oily, and it's not that I'm using too much or anything like that, but for me and my particular hair type, I think that it weighs my hair down and it takes away some of my volume, which I absolutely love. So if you're not into volume, maybe the Moroccan oil is a good choice over the argan oil. But to be honest with you, both of them do the exact same thing, and I even prefer the cheaper product. So, and when I do wear my hair curly, these are the products that I use, and these are actually quite reasonable. Both of them are reasonable. I do not have an expensive alternative to this, simply because these products work so well that I do not see the need to purchase something that is, in an expensive line. And this is what I use as a leave-in conditioner. This is the Tresemme Flawless Curls, and it's a curl hydration. It's sort of like a nourishing milk for your hair, and I would apply this right after I shower, wash my hair, conditioner. I would apply that, and then to really give the curls like some real bounce and a real boost, to get that sort of a spiral effect, I use the Frizzies Dream Curls, the curl perfecting spray, and this stuff is like liquid gold in a bottle. I'm telling you that this, even if your hair is just slightly wavy, you spray a little bit of this onto the hair, and then you scrunch it up right afterwards. You can spray it wet, or even if you need a touch up on the following day, just to give your hair a little bit of extra curliness or a little bit of wave, and this really brings out the curls in your hair. So this, I recommend these definitely for curly hair. And in terms of leave-ins, I've been using these two. Now again, the Rusk shampoo actually comes with this leave-in conditioner. It doesn't come with like a regular conditioner, but it does come with this one, and this one is a leave-in conditioner, and I like this. This is fine. It smells absolutely divine, but I could do without it, because for me, I find that I have to wash my hair a little bit more often because it does leave a little bit of buildup. And as an alternative to this leave-in, what I've been using recently is the John Frieda Full Repair, and this is a sheer mist. So you would use this again after you've washed your hair and you've conditioned. You would just go ahead and spray some of this onto the towel dried hair, and really sort of distribute it throughout the hair using a comb. So this is what I really love this stuff. It's not greasy, it's not heavy, it doesn't really weigh your hair down. And then lastly, I have some thermal sprays, and these I use when I flat iron my hair. They're supposed to really enhance the flat iron or the length of time that a flat iron lasts you. And they are also heat protectants as well. And I know like everybody on the planet knows this one, and it's extremely expensive, but to be quite honest with you, I've been using the Le Coupe version, which is a cheaper brand. I mean, it is a bit of an expensive product at I think $50 something, but it is actually quite great. And to be honest with you, I've used this, and if you notice, the bottle is not even touched as yet, and I think it's because to me this comes out a bit sticky. When you do spray it on your hair, it tends to go very tacky. Your hair, I am a person, I am very textural and very visceral, so for me, I like to run my hands through my hair, and with this I find that there's a lot of residue and there's a lot of stickiness there, so I tend not to use this. The Le Coupe actually really does work, and I think I prefer this one over the one that everybody and their mother is using. And these are products here that I've stuck with right through. This one is just a quick little tip. This is actually Treseme's Fresh Start Dry Shampoo, and I don't use this very often, but if in the event that I'm not able to really get, you know, a hair washing in, and my roots are a bit oily, or my hair seems to need a little bit of refreshing, or even if my hair has gone flat, this is actually really great for volume. What you do is, it's a dry shampoo. It comes out sort of like a foamy powder. You spray it into the roots of the hair, and then you would take a brush and just brush it out until all the residue sort of disappears. It does clean the hair. It absorbs excess oil that builds up at the scalp and into the hair. It has a really light, refreshing scent, and the good thing about it is because it gives a little bit more texture at the root, it inadvertently gives you volume. So for those of you who have really flat hair and you've tried everything, you've tried the teasing, it doesn't work, maybe you should try giving this a shot. For a shine spray, there is an alternative that I know of. I believe it is by Eternal, I think. Yeah, Eternal, the brand, they have a shine spray that is a really good alternative to this. I do not have it, unfortunately. This is the Tech Italy, the shine system, and this is their UV, the shine and reconditioning spray, and there are UV protectants in here, so it protects your hair from the atmospheric conditions, UV rays, things like that. It prevents split ends. It really does make your hair silky, and this is the one product that I keep repurchasing because I absolutely love it. It is a splurge, but at the end of the day, it is worth it, I think. And then of course, if I have to use hairspray, I hardly ever use hairspray. I still stick with the Pantene Eye Shine. I think that it does not have a lot of residue, and to me it works. It gets the job done without really weighing down my hair, becoming too sticky after a period of time. And the last thing I'm going to cover is serums. Now, I'm not a huge fan of serums because, again, I like my volume, and I think that serums tend to really weigh your hair down. So what I use is, I've been using Biosilk recently, and to be honest with you, I'm kind of on the fence with this product. It is great. I have used it in my hair, and I think I like the way it feels. I think it's not really too heavy on the hair, but what kills me with this is the scent. I am not a big fan of really overbearing scents. And to me, I think this has this has a really overbearing scent to me. And the way that I see this, I'm spending so much money on a shampoo that, you know, is obviously from the Centuries line, so that means it is going to be smelling great. I don't want something to be, you know, taking away from all of that. So at the end of the day, I think the scent for me is sort of a deal breaker with this one, but it works pretty fine. And once you do not use too much, it's great. And an alternative to this is, of course, the Eternal hair polish. I think everybody knows about this product. It is inexpensive, it works great. I even know some hairdressers, some really great hairdressers who are huge and well known, and they actually still use this hair polish. I've been to salons where they still use this polish. So this is a really cheap, great alternative to something like the Biosilk or the Chi. Of course, these do offer a little bit more heat protectant. They give you a little bit more UV protectant, so they tend to be a lot more healthier for the hair. But if all you're looking for is shine, and let's say you use a thermal spray or a conditioning spray, and it does contain, you know, protectant properties in there, then why not go for something that is going to give you what you're looking for, but at the end of the day, it's going to save you a few bucks. Because you honestly can't tell. I mean, between a lot of these products here, you really can't tell the difference between them. They work the same way, they react the same way. They're basically the same products. Right, so lastly, I'm just going to talk about some hairstyling tools. Now my hair is naturally curly, so I don't really use a curling iron. My hair, if I do wear it curly, I use those products that I told you about. I would use my argan oil, run that through my hair once it's finished drying and once it's finished washed. I would run a little bit of the argan oil through my hair while it's still wet. And then from there I would go ahead and put the conditioning milk in my hair, and then once it's a little bit damp, a little more dried, I would go ahead and use the curl spray in my hair. But if it is, I do use a flat iron. There are a few tools that I really can't be without. Now I did splurge on this. This is a professional quality flat iron, and to be honest with you, I think it is absolutely the best. A lot of people may beg to differ. This is actually the Sidhu ceramic flat iron, and I love this. I absolutely love it. It is I believe it's a 2.5-inch plate. It is a professional quality. It did come with this little protecting case, travel mat thing, heat protectant. And it is right now, if you go on Follica.com, I did a lot of research before actually investing this kind of money in a flat iron. But it is the best rated on Follica.com, and to me, I really can't work without it. The only downfall to that is that obviously if my hair is wet, I can't do it. Now, I am not a big believer in hair dryers. I don't care how much you tell me, okay, they're a nano and whatever else they come out with that really, protect your hair, and if you do this, if you use a lower heat. I'm not a huge fan of hair dryers. Which is why I'm not including one in today's video, because I think that having that amount of heat so close to your hair cuticles, it is bound to fry them, regardless of what brand or how expensive or how low the temperature is. So what I try to do as a tip, if I know I have somewhere to be and I know that I need to have my hair flat ironed or whatever it is, if I have an appearance or if I have work or whatever, what I try to do is I wash my hair the night before or a couple hours before, allow it to air dry naturally, and then I go in with the Sidhu and I flat iron it. The Sidhu does flat iron my hair so quickly, and I have very thick, coarse hair. So for me, I don't have to do very much. It's usually just like one pass all the way through, and my hair is dead straight from being frizzy and unruly and curly. So for me, that is great enough. It is enough heat that I don't need to really necessarily use a blow dryer. That being said, my mom, when I ordered this particular flat iron, the night after I ordered this flat iron, my mom's birthday was coming up and she did need a new flat iron. So I was doing a lot of research on like the lower end flat irons, drugstore brands and whatnot, and I came across the Remington Wet to Straight. I believe it's their 2-inch flat iron that they have. I came across that and I read a lot of really good reviews, even on Follica.com, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and get that for her. And I did go to the store, and it was, I think, about $300, I believe. It is a little bit pricey still, but to be honest with you, it is one of the best lower end flat irons that I've used. In fact, that's what I've done my hair with today. My hair was wet, and of course I didn't have the time to dry it, and instead of using a blow dryer, I went ahead and just used that, and with just a few passes it dries the hair and it really leaves your hair silky and flat ironed at the same time, in the same instance. And to be honest with you, if I had known that flat iron was that great, I probably would have saved the money that I spent on the Sidhu and ended up just purchasing one of those instead. The Sidhu did cost me a good raise. I think it's roughly about $1,500, $1,500 to $1,800 once it was shipped here and it was cleared and everything. It was $1,500 to $1,800, which is a huge amount of money for a flat iron. But for me, I know that it's going to last me a really long time, and I know that I use my flat iron quite frequently, so it was worth the investment for me. And we all know from me always saying it, I am a Leo and I love my hair, so for me that was a really good investment. But to be honest with you, had I known that that Remington would have been that great, I would have probably saved the money and gotten myself one of those instead, because to me there is the added convenience of having not to dry your hair, of if it is you have to go somewhere really quickly and you need to have a hairstyle done fast, you don't have to wait or pull out a hair dryer and go through all of that. You can just actually do 2 steps in one, and it's so fast and it's so quick and it's so easy to use. The last thing that I use in terms of tools, and this is actually a really good tip, a really great tip, is one of these brushes. And I'm not sure if you've ever seen one of these, and these are like double-sided and they are boar bristle. And what they do, it is basically if you're flat ironing or you're blowing out or whatever, what you do is you clamp both sides of the hair at the same time, and you could use your hair dryer or you run through with your flat iron, and what this does is it holds the hair taut, so it makes the straightening time a little bit easier, and then the hairs are not going, especially if you have curly hair, the hairs are not going wayward as they go through the flat iron or as the blow dryer passes through. And this really cuts my straightening time in half. But between using this and my Studio, or even if I use this and the Remington, I literally have to do like 1 pass through my entire hair. My hair is not short, I mean it's really long. I have to do 1 pass and it basically is dead straight. So I would really, if you can't get them here, I think there are a couple places that have them here. You could probably ask your hairdressers or just go on eBay. I got this for like $10 US, and I mean, it is really great. I can't see myself doing my hair without having this now, and it's a really good investment. Right, so the last thing that I'm going to actually do or cover in this video is a few tips. Now, I am not a hairdresser. Don't go saying that I don't know what I'm speaking about. What I'm talking about is things that I do for me personally. I don't know if they're correct. I don't want hairdressers to start typing me comments saying that, this is incorrect and you're giving me wrong information. Do check with your hairdressers, because your hair type would obviously be different from mine. And these are just things that I do, little tips and little tricks that I picked up along the way, products that work for me. So if you're concerned about it, I definitely recommend, checking with your hairdresser first before you actually take any advice that I give you. That being said, there are a few rules that I tend to stick to in order for really healthy hair. Number one, you don't wash your hair every day. And for some of us, especially like those of us who have long hair and thick hair like me, that is a bit hard, especially I sweat a lot. So for me, and I sweat in my head and in my scalp, and I'm always at the gym. So I always have that to worry about. What I try to do is wash my hair every other day. And what that does is when you wash your hair every day, you strip your hair of the natural oils that protect it and the natural oils that nourish it. So if you go a day or two between your shampoo, you actually allow that oil to sort of penetrate and do what it's supposed to do, and you don't dry out the scalp. So that's what I normally try to follow. The second thing that I do, well, as I said, I do not believe in blow dryers. If you have to, and if you think that it's necessary for you, by all means go ahead and invest in a really good blow dryer. But I do not believe in those, because to me it's just way too much heat to be placing on your hair at any given point in time. As I said, if I know I have to go somewhere, I try to wash my hair the night before, maybe like a really good while before, so that I am able to really allow my hair to dry naturally. When you use a hair dryer, what tends to happen is that hair dryer forces the hair to push out that moisture. It evaporates the moisture very quickly from the cuticle and from the shaft of the hair. And sometimes that leaves your hair broken, it leaves your hair damaged, and the cuticle is not really completely dried per se. If you must use a hairdryer, try and use it on the lowest heat setting that you can, and try and constantly have it moving. Don't allow the heat to really stay on your hair for any long period of time. The other thing, I do not believe in a lot of hair treatments like masks and stuff like that, because to me I think that they cause a lot of buildup. You can do it maybe once a month, once every 2 weeks, depending on the texture of your hair and the need for moisture. But to be honest with you, I think any more than that, it tends to leave your hair kind of oily and weighed down and a bit too heavy for the hair in general. The other thing is, I do not color my hair very often. If I do color my hair, it's usually a darker shade than what I'm actually used to, and maybe that's not everybody's cup of tea, but obviously the more that you dye your hair is the more damage it's going to sustain. And I don't care if you go to a hairdresser, I don't care if you paid $600 to do your hair. At the end of the day, it is chemical and it is going to damage your hair. So if you really love your hair and you really want to have healthy, shiny, naturally great looking hair, I suggest you skip the dye box. I suggest you skip the dye job at the salon and rock your natural color. Be confident with what you have. As far as I'm concerned, you are supposed to be happy with what God gave you. It's not like that for everybody. Even for me at times, I wish that my hair would dent straight all the time. And some people look at my hair and they wish that it was curly. Those who have straight hair, we're always going to want what we don't have. But I think it's really important that we learn to love ourselves the way that we are. And whatever God has given to us, we learn to rock it. You know, even if your hair is black and it's thick and curly and frizzy, rock your hair. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you guys have any questions or if you need any more information on anything that I've used today, and keep those requests coming in. Thank you so much for watching.